Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Surprise witness. What the hell has Ben doing?
Someone we love is going to expose us and get Andy off the hook.
Someone we love, but who do we know that would say something that would hurt us?
Dad? I'm giving you fair warning. You better talk to your boy.
What are you talking about, Phil?
If Ben Warren gives Harley a hard time on the stand, we're going to have a problem.
You're making no sense.
Harley is pregnant. I don't want any extra stress for her. No, I'm serious, Dad. Tell him to go easy.
He knows, doesn't he? Ben knows about the clone.
Cassie, I didn't say anything to him. Our conversation was strictly personal, confidential.
What the hell is he talking about, Ben? I don't know. Who is this secret witness he's talking about?
I don't know.
He said it's someone who's very close to Josh and Reva.
I swear to you, I don't have a clue.
Okay, fine. Then do us both a favor. Find out.
We both had a look at that witness list. Can you think of anybody on that list that Ben could crucify in cross-examination? Somebody he could manipulate, put us in the worst possible way?
Your Honor, the people call Josh Lewis.
Mr. Lewis, you will take the stand.
Mr. Lewis, could you describe your relationship with Annie Dutton?
I don't know where to begin.
A brief synopsis will do.
Okay, about 3.5 years ago, my wife, Reva Shane, had been missing and presumed dead for quite some time. In fact, she had been declared legally dead. I met Annie Dutton, and we were married.
And did you love her?
Well, I married her, I suppose, at the time I thought I did. I was lonely, and my children missed their mother. She took care of the kids. In fact, I would even say she was pretty good with the kids.
And what happened after that?
Reva returned. Reva came back into my life, and Annie didn't handle that very well.
She didn't handle that very well?
No, her supposed love for me turned into some kind of an obsession. She did everything she could to keep Reva out of my life, to keep us away from each other. She made our lives hell. She terrorized my family. And because of those things, she was eventually arrested and put in jail. Now, at that time, we thought that was the end of Annie Dutton in our lives, but we've come to realize that when it comes to Annie, there really is no end. She escaped from jail, right here in Springfield, and she left town. A few months later, Terry DeMarco arrived in town and began to insinuate herself into our lives. And a short time after that, I began to act strange. I began treating Reva badly and developed this inexplicable, these feelings for Terry DeMarco. I began to realize that I had been drugged.
Your Honor, there's no foundation here. If the witness is suggesting that his appalling behavior towards my client was brought on by drugs, we need some proof.
Excuse me, but she introduced an experimental drug into my bloodstream.
Your Honor.
One that supposedly had some kind of mind control quality
Sustained.
to it.
Mr. Lewis? You will stick to the facts, Mr. Lewis. The facts.
Annie Dutton came back into our lives and turned them upside down. That is a fact.
And how did Annie do that?
Well, she took over somebody else's identity. So this Terry DeMarco.
And what did Annie, as Terry DeMarco, do to your family?
Well, she pretty much followed the same pattern as Annie. She came by our house for no reason whatsoever. It was sort of a stalking thing. And eventually she made up this story, concocted this story about how I had attacked her in some way.
But that wasn't true.
No, ma'am, it was not true. It was a lie.
Thank you for your testimony, Mr. Lewis.
Mr. Warren, you may cross-examine.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Mr. Lewis, are you claiming you didn't kidnap Annie Dutton?
I'm not claiming it. I didn't.
But you forced her into your car, physically forced her.
I drove her there.
Yes, to the lighthouse, right?
Yes.
And shortly after you arrived at the lighthouse, the police arrived, correct?
Yes.
Now, what was the condition of Miss Dutton's clothing after the police arrived? Her blouse, for example, was it torn? Just answer the question, Mr. Lewis.
Yes, it was torn, but I didn't do it.
Ah. Well, who else was with you at the lighthouse?
Nobody.
Just you and Annie.
That's right.
And isn't it true you kissed Annie Dunn?
Yes, it's true.
Yes, you
but
were
I
the
was under
aggressor.
the influence of a drug at the time.
You kissed her. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. That's all.
Miss Wolf, redirect.
Just one question. Mr. Lewis, do you harbor any secret feelings for Annie Dutton?
No, I do not, and that's the truth. She repulses me. As a matter of fact, no matter what face she's wearing.
Your Honor, I ask that you instruct
enough,
the jury
Mr.
to
Lewis.
disregard Mr. Lewis's last statement, have it stricken from the record.
You will disregard his last statement.
In fact, I
please.
can't even understand why you would think that I would want you after everything you've done to me and to my
Mr.
family
Lewis.
and to Reva.
Mr. Lewis.
I have always loved Reva.
You will be silent.
Why are you
Oh, my-
doing this?
Sit down.
Why are you lying? Why don't you tell them the truth? You loved me.
Down.
What we had was special. I helped you forget her. I became a mother to Shane and
Mr.
Mara.
Warren.
The mother they needed.
You
no.
will control your
The mother they
client.
needed, and it was perfect until she came back and ruined all of it.
Order.
Tell them the truth.
Order.
Tell them the truth. We were meant to be together. You said so yourself.
I will have order in the court.
You are killing us here, Annie. Everything I'm trying to achieve.
I was telling the truth.
But you were playing right into their hands. Can't you see that?
He lied about everything.
It doesn't matter. Annie, the only thing that matters in a courtroom is how it appears to a jury. All right?
Fine.
Your Honor, may I approach the bench? Thank you.
Annie, I can't tell you how comforting it is to see that you've really worked Josh out of your system.
What is it they say about the truth wins out?
Well, I definitely got the reaction out of Annie that I wanted, but
What?
well, just being up there talking about the time that you were gone, it's I don't like going to that place. It's hard for me.
Your Honor, the people call Harley Spaulding.
Ben, you cross-examine. Be gentle.
I thought the idea was to get Annie on.
It is.
Well, then let me do my job. I happen to be very good at it. Now, if your daughter-in-law gives satisfactory responses, I won't have to rough her out. What would be the point of that?
Be gentle.
Mrs. Spaulding, what was your first encounter with Annie Dutton?
It was in a private psychiatric hospital. I was working undercover.
And you became her confidant, did you not?
Well, she trusted me enough to open herself up about Josh, her feelings towards him.
And what sort of feelings were they?
Obsessed.
Objection,
She was
Your Honor.
obsessed with him.
Sustained.
Thank you.
She said that she would do anything to get him back. That's a direct quote.
She would do anything, including murder.
And maybe get him tickets to the Final Four. This is ludicrous, Your Honor.
Mr. Warren, if you have an objection.
I have a strenuous objection to this reckless, if not criminal, speculation.
I'll withdraw the question.
Thank you.
Mrs. Spaulding, can you describe exactly what happened when Annie found out who you were?
She flew into a rage. She wanted to get revenge on me, and she did that by altering my chart, which was simple enough for her. She's a nurse. She had me injected with a hallucinogen.
Do we have any proof, Your Honor? And for the witness to throw out these accusations without proof, please.
Ms. Wolf, you will confine your witnesses to recounting the facts.
Yes, Your Honor. What happened to you, Mrs. Spaulding?
Someone injected me with a drug.
And what was your reaction, if any?
I don't remember all of it. I tried to climb up through a skylight. I could have died. I might have if it hadn't been for my husband, Philip Spaulding.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Warren?
Just a second, Your Honor. Let me check my notes. Mrs. Spaulding, I must say I find this all very interesting. When you were working undercover, trying to get information from Annie Dutton, you were working for the Springfield Police Department. Is that correct?
No, it isn't.
No? You weren't an officer of the law. I'll let the record reflect that the witness is shaking her head no. Well, who were you working for then?
Private clients?
Did you have a court order?
No.
So, in other words, you were working outside the law and, in fact, breaking it.
Technically, yes.
So who are you working for?
Well, I can't divulge that information.
Yes, you can, Mrs. Spaulding, and you will.
Josh and Reva.
A little louder, please.
Josh Lewis and Reva Shane.
Thank you, Mrs. Spaulding. I'm finished with this witness, Your Honor.
I hope this didn't mess everything up.
No, you told the truth, Harley, and that's what we're here to do. Nail Annie with the truth. And what more could you have said? And you know what? I need to talk to Frank a minute.
Sure.
You have a minute?
Yeah, what's up?
You see what Ben's doing up there, don't you?
I keep trying to tell you that my relationship with Annie was strictly professional. We were partners, okay? Cops.
Prepare, Elaine, just in case the question comes up.
Why would I tell her something that obviously would upset her?
All rise, first backing session.
So for your sake.
Court will come to order. Ms. Wolf, you may call your next witness.
Terry DeMarco.
I know. It's all falling through.
How long does he drive?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please be seated.
Welcome, Mr. Marco. Could you please tell the court how you came to meet Annie Dutton?
I was on vacation. I went to this resort. It was a very laid-back, very relaxed place. People there were all very friendly. It was the kind of place where everybody talked to everybody. Unfortunately, I ended up talking to Annie Dutton the first night I was there. I walked into a bar, and we were wearing the same dress. It was pretty embarrassing. But we struck up a conversation, and soon after that, a friendship. You know how women are, bond pretty quickly. So she and I spent a lot of time together, talking about everything, growing up, friendships, career, family. I came to trust her. I mean, I really trusted her. And then, I guess I had some kind of an accident. I don't really remember all of it. But I woke up in a hospital bed from a coma. And there was this woman leaning over me who had my face. She was evil. Purely evil. I could see that. She left me in a hospital bed in a coma for months to rot. She tried to separate me from my family, make them believe that I didn't love them anymore or wanted anything to do with them.
And who is this woman? Is she in this courtroom?
Yes, she is.
Could you point her out?
I really don't care to look at her.
Why not?
Because she took my face and she stole my life.
Your Honor, I've stayed silent long enough.
And you will remain so, Mr. Warren. If that's an objection, you're overruled. Mr. Marco, please continue.
I don't really have anything else to say. She ruined my life, my reputation. I think it's probably fairly clear to everyone here what an awful individual she is. There's no place I can go and be alone. I'm hounded constantly by people who mistake me for her.
I know this is difficult for you, Miss DeMarco, but I'm afraid you'll have to look at Annie Dutton and make a positive identification.
How could you? Thought you were my friend. That's Annie Dutton sitting right there.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Warren,
No questions.
court will take a brief recess.
All rise.
Ben.
Listen, I want to ask you something. You know that material that you had this morning on cloning?
Yes.
Is that relevant to this case?
Why do you ask?
Well, I'm just curious.
Why, is there something I should know?
You know, it's the secret witness is bothering me. If there's somebody close to the Lewises that could hurt them, you wouldn't let that happen, right?
Blake, you know I can't discuss my case here and now. It's not fair to my clients. It's not fair to me. Right?
I should have insisted you did not take this case when I had the chance.
I want you to remember one thing. I am doing this for both of us. All right?
Hey, did I miss anything?
Johnny, where'd you go?
Made a call. Check on a catering job.
Miss Wolf, call your next witness.
Your Honor, the people called Detective Cooper.
You don't think Frank could be the one, do you?
What?
The person that's supposed to have information that could turn on us, on Josh and me.
No, I don't think it's Frank.
Probably I'm just being paranoid.
Isn't it true, Detective Cooper, that Annie Dutton impersonated a police officer when she assumed the identity of a member of the Detroit PD, Terry DeMarco?
Yes, it is true. It's how she got here in the first place. By passing herself off as an officer in the Detroit Police Department.
But that was a lie.
All of it was a lie.
Can you tell the court, Detective Cooper, if you were in a dangerous situation with an officer who had no police training or experience whatsoever, what would happen?
Without proper backup from my partner, my life would be in serious jeopardy.
And your partner was Annie Dutton. How do you feel about her lying to get on the force?
What she did was unforgivable. She used the Springfield Police Department. She used me. She put my life in danger. She was a loose cannon. I mean that literally. The way she waved her gun around, almost looking like she always wanted to blow somebody away. Let me tell you something, she came real close, too. She almost took out my sister Harley, Ken Norris, and Reva Shane.
You mean she actually came close to shooting people?
Too close. She was trigger happy. But of course, she always came up with a plausible excuse. But you see, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Unfortunately, I was a fool. And I bought in to everything that she told me.
Well, obviously you weren't the only one.
Yeah, well, Annie Dutton's very slick and ruthless. As a matter of fact, she didn't give a damn about the real cops out there who put their lives on the line every single day. The only person she cares about is herself.
Mention was made earlier of the drug that was used on Ken Norris, and then later identified as the same drug that was stolen from the police evidence box. Did Terry DeMarco have access to that box?
Absolutely. I never thought in a million years that my own partner would take it. But yeah, she had ample opportunity. She definitely knew how the drug worked. As a matter of fact, Annie Dutton, she's the one who brought in the doctor who administered that drug to Ken Norris. Yeah, she had first-hand knowledge.
And opportunity and motive. That about covers it. Your witness, Mr. Moore.
Thank you. I only have a couple of questions, Detective, regarding your relationship with your ex-partner, Terry DeMarco. How would you characterize it?
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, would you call it strictly professional?
Of course I would.
And how would you define professional? Would that, say, preclude a personal relationship, a friendship?
No, I mean, we became friends. I mean, she was new in town. She seemed lonely, or at least I thought she was. And my wife and I, we even invited her into our own home.
Oh, that's nice. So you were friendly to her. You were nice to her.
Yeah, I tried to be. She was my partner. We're cops.
Yes. And is your conduct the same with all your partners, Detective?
Of course.
Do you kiss all your partners, Detective? Take as much time as you need, Detective. I want to make sure your answer's correct.
No, I do not kiss all my partners.
But you did kiss Terry DeMarco.
She kissed me.
Terry kissed you?
Yes, she did.
Did you push her away and tell her it was inappropriate?
Of course I did.
But it happened again, didn't it?
She tried to kiss me 2 other times, and I never let her do it again. That is wrong. You're wrong.
And that is why?
No.
Because you were spurned by her.
No, you're going to say something. Keep flipping things around.
Order.
Thank you, Detective.
Such a fool. Such a fool. I was nice to her. I reached out to her. I let her into my home.
I know you were. She's just a manipulator.
I know what she is. I thought I knew Frank better.
Your testimony today in regards to the drug, Annie's incompetence as a police officer, and her stunning duplicity, this testimony, was it influenced in any way by your personal feelings toward Annie Dutton?
I told the truth. Honestly and without bias. I love my wife.
Thank you, Detective Cooper.
You may step down.
You realize when they put Reva up on that stand, she's going to go into her, oh, shucks, sweet as pie, good old girl routine. Makes me sick.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, Ben. She is going to pull out every stop to try and make me look like a total lunatic.
No, this is a moment I've been waiting for. Fasten your seatbelt. There's going to be a collision.
No, I'm going home.
No, I'll go with you.
No, you're going to stay right
Honey, come on.
Don't
Let's just
follow
talk
me.
about this.
I'm going home. I need to be alone.
Oh, ladies.
Did you find anything else? Does he know about the client?
He wouldn't tell me anything. All he would give me was that old client-attorney privilege thing.
That's it? You didn't find anything out?
No, well, I'll tell you one thing I know. He's not as confident as he looks about beating Josh and Reva. He's bluffing, Cassie. He's just trying to scare everybody.
So you don't think he knows anything about the club?
How could he? I didn't say anything to him, and we were alone when we had that conversation.
What if he overheard us?
He left the house, remember?
You don't always have to be in the house to overhear something.
Are you saying that he bugged me? He wouldn't do that. Not now.
All rise.
Due to the lateness of the hour, we're going to adjourn until tomorrow morning. Miss Wolf, who will be your first witness?
Reva Shane.